Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss about 5 major mass extinction events that our Earth has witnessed since its origin. So, when these mass events of extinction has occurred, why these has happened, and also how these entire extinction event has progressed, that is what we are going to discuss in detail in this particular video. So, first of all, to give you the idea about the context of this particular issue, throughout we know that our solar system as well as Earth has formed somewhere around 4,600 million or 4.6 billion years ago, and throughout its 4.6 billions of entire history, there have been 5 major mass extinction events that has wiped out an overwhelming majority of the life forms on the Earth, including life on the land, life on the water, as well as we can say amphibian lives as well. Now, these 5 mass extinctions are referred as, the first extinction is called as Ordovician extinction, then we have Devonian, then we have Permian, then Triassic, Jurassic, and the last one, which is the most recent one, is referred as Cretaceous tertiary mass extinction on the basis of the time or the age or period of the Earth when these events has happened. Now, each of these events were not of the same we can say intensity. There were variation in sizes, there were variation in the causes, impact also, but what we can say that all of them has completely devastated the biodiversity that existed on the Earth in those times. Now, first of all, before going into each of these 5 events individually, let us first try to understand what do we mean when we say the term mass extinction. So, if you look at the scientific community, it is a common understanding that a mass extinction can be defined as such a time period in the history or geological history of the Earth where a large percentage of all known living species that existed during that time go extinct. Now, there are several causes for mass extinctions, as we have seen and as we will see when we discuss these individual events, is such as climate change, geological catastrophe such as continuous volcanic eruptions over a large area of Earth, or even meteor that sometimes strike the Earth's surface from the atmosphere, from the outer space, has resulted into such kind of extinction events. There is even evidence to suggest that even some microbes that have developed on the Earth has sped up or contributed to some extent in some of these mass extinction events that we know throughout the entire geological time scale. Now, the first extinction event which we are going to discuss is what we refer as Ordovician mass extinction. Now, this Ordovician mass extinction happened somewhere in the Ordovician period of Paleozoic era, which almost was somewhere 440 million years ago from now. The size of extinction was so that it is believed by the geologists and scientific community that almost 85% of the living species that were present on the Earth at that time went extinct or simply eliminated. The suspected cause or causes of this event is believed to be continental drift. Continental drift means we know that the Earth is made up of Earth lithosphere, the upper surface is made up of several plates. These plates keep on moving related to each other, and this movement of land masses are what we call as continental drift, as well as the subsequent climate change that happened due to this might have contributed to this particular extinction. So, if you go into more detail about this, what we can understand that at this time when this extinction event has happened, the history of Earth, it is very early history of the Earth, and the development of life, the origin of life on the Earth is still in its very nascent stage. Now, it is believed that the first known life forms has appeared about 3.6 billion years ago on the Earth's surface, but by the Ordovician period, a larger aquatic life forms had come into existence. The reason why such extinction event has occurred is believed to have occurred in 2 phases. In the first phase or in the first wave, it led to development of an ice age. Now, obviously, as ice age progressed, the sea level becomes low, and as the sea level becomes lower, species both living on the land as well as water could not adapt fast to survive this harsh cold climate. And as they are not able to survive in this harsh cold climate, at the same time we have a second wave, because ice age that began suddenly came to an abrupt end, and this abrupt end of ice age led to again a quick rise of the sea level, a quick rise of the ocean level, and it was so quick that again many of the organisms that were living on the earth, they were not able to sustain or they were not able to survive because there was not enough oxygen present to maintain the species that had survived the first wave. And as a result of these both waves, species were too slow to adapt before extinction took them out completely. And it was then up to the few surviving aquatic autotrophs that basically increased the oxygen supply, and then a new species again began to develop after the end of the first mass extinction. Following this, the second mass extinction is referred as the Devonian extinction, which has happened again in the Devonian period of the Paleozoic era, which was somewhere about 375 million years ago. The suspected cause is believed to be the lack of oxygen in the ocean, quick cooling of air temperatures, and the volcanic eruptions or meteor strike both might have happened. As a result of this devastating extinction event, nearly 80% of all the living species were eliminated. If you go into more details of this particular extinction, what we can say that just as the climate was stabilizing and the species that were survived or that developed after the first extinction event were adapting to the new environment, and life on earth again began to flourish. Despite this, or suddenly 80% of all species both in the water and on the land were wiped out by this particular extinction event, that is the Devonian extinction event. Now here the first wave is made up of what we can say is something that dealt a very quick blow to the aquatic life that were present on the earth at that time, and quick colonization of the land that has happened because many species, they started to migrate from the water habitat to the land habitat, and many aquatic plants thus adapted to live on land in this time, leaving fewer autotrophs to create oxygen for all the sea lives. And obviously, as the dissolved oxygen concentration became low, it went below the it led to the this what we can say extinction of the aquatic life. The other phenomena that is related to this is as soon as most of the plant migrated to the land, now we know that plant absorb carbon dioxide. So, as a large number of plants suddenly start to grow on the land, it caused a sudden lowering of the greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And we know that the major role that carbon dioxide plays in our atmosphere is it traps the terrestrial heat that is radiated by the earth's surface and thus help in cooling the keeping the earth warmer. But due to sudden decrease in the concentration of GHG such as CO2, it led to a sudden plummeting of the global temperature, of the atmospheric temperature, and the land species which were present at that time had trouble adapting to these sudden changes in temperature, in climate, and thus went extinct as a result. Followed by this, we have the second wave. Now, second wave is still a mystery. We do not have very fixed or very clear idea or understanding about these waves, but many scientists believe that these second wave could be made up of mass volcanic eruptions that is happening on the earth due to tectonic plate movement, and some meteor strikes might also have coincided with this particular phase, and thus exact cause is still considered unknown. But again, because of the combination of the first and second wave, as we have discussed, 80% of the living animals became extinct, and that led to the end of the second extinction event. Following this, in the Permian period of the Paleozoic era, that was somewhere between 250 million years ago, we witnessed the third mass extinction event. The scale of the extinction event was such that it was even more catastrophic than the first and second extinction event, because almost 96% of all the living species simply disappeared, vanished, or became extinct. The suspected cause is believed to be again, it is not a very clear idea, people do not have a very clear idea, but it is possibly believed that asteroid strikes has happened. At the same time, volcanic activity is picking up, climate change is going on because of these changes, and also some microbes have played an important role here in speeding up the process of extinction. So, if we go into more details about the Permian extinction, what we can highlight here is that out of all the 5 major extinction events that the earth has witnessed, this is believed to be the largest of all, with massive 96% of species going extinct in this particular phase. The region, it is because of this region, this particular extinction event is also referred by geographers as the Great Dying. Now, the region why it is still such a mystery, is because we are not able to determine the exact possible causes that might have led to such a grand scale of extinction, and it is still much a mystery what set up this greatest of the mass extinction events. The massive volcanic activity might be one probable region. Asteroid impact that sent deadly methane and basalt into the air and across the surface of Earth is believed to be one of the primary regions. And these all phenomena, obviously because of the large scale volcanic eruption, it reduced the amount of oxygen that represent in the atmosphere. There is increase in the number of sulfur based gases, nitrogen based gases, carbon based gases, and this caused suffocation of life forms that needed oxygen to survive, and thus it brought a quick change in the entire climate. It is also during this time, it is believed as per the new research that a microbe that is from the archaea, domain that has flourished during this time when the methane concentration is higher. And thus these extremophiles means such kind of microorganisms which live in extreme kind of condition, that love extreme kind of conditions, have taken over and choked out life in the ocean as well. Thus both the terrestrial life form as well as the aquatic life form, marine life form, all came to an end. So whatever the cause, this biggest of the major mass extinction ended the Paleozoic era and ushered a new era of the Earth's history that we refer as the Mesozoic era. And thus it is in the Mesozoic era we observe the fourth mass extinction event, which happened at the end of Triassic period, somewhere about 200 million years ago, and that is why we refer it also as the Triassic Jurassic mass extinction. The scale of this extinction event was such that more than 50% of all living species were eliminated. So obviously this extent of this extinction event is what we can say lower than the last event. Now the suspected causes of this event is believed to be again same. Due to the plate tectonics, we are having major volcanic activity everywhere across the Earth's surface. The basalt flooding that is happening because the magma that is coming out, that magma is basaltic in nature, and basaltic magma flows at very high speed, and thus the entire region of the Earth where volcanic eruption happens, the magma is flooding up the entire habitat, entire regions, and it is so hot that anything that comes in contact with the magma is turning into an ash. Global climate change happens due to the intense volcanic eruption, and the change in pH value we have observed in the water, and the sea level fluctuation, the ocean level, is believed to be the primary factor driving the fourth mass extinction. So basically that is how this mass extinction event differs, because it is not a single or two factor, double factor, rather it is a combination of many smaller extinction level events that has happened over a period of almost 18 million years during this time that has driven this fourth extinction event. Over this long time span, almost we have discussed 50% of living species became extinct. The causes, as we have discussed, basalt flooding, the climate change related to the volcanic eruption, and change in sea levels and possibly even pH levels is the major reason behind such catastrophic mass event. And thus by the end of this period we have the end of this mass extinction event. But in the same Mesozoic era, somewhere about 65 million years ago from now, we had the most recent extinction event that the Earth has witnessed, which is also called as the KT mass extinction. This KT mass extinction happened at the end of Cretaceous period, and the size of extinction was such that it is believed that nearly 75% of all living species were eliminated, and the suspected cause is believed to be the asteroid impact or meteor impact. And it is the most well known, most understood extinction phenomena that we have idea about, and it is perhaps also, despite not being the biggest extinction phenomena, if you compare from the third one, it is best known at this what we can say extinction phenomena today. So the dividing line between the final period of Mesozoic era, that is the Cretaceous period, and the tertiary period of Cenozoic era is also believed to be this mass extinction event. It is also the event that wiped out the dinosaurs along with the other 75% of the known living species that flourished during this time period. Now what is the major causes behind this extinction event? So it is believed that the huge space rock has hit the Earth's surface and sent debris into the air, effectively producing what we can call as an impact winter, because obviously when such huge amount of debris accumulates in the atmosphere, it will not allow the sunlight to enter onto the Earth's atmosphere and reach off to the surface, and due to this warming will not happen, and that is why we call it as an impact winter, and that drastically changed the climate across the entire planet. Scientists have studied that the large craters that were left behind by these meteors or meteorites that have fallen to the Earth and can date them back to this particular time, thus proving conclusively that meteor strike indeed has happened in this time when we have witnessed this particular extinction. Now, many scientists question that currently the time of humans, are we witnessing the sixth mass extinction? Is it happening? So again, the answer is not clear, but the question that remains, is it possible that we are in the midst of the sixth major mass extinction without realizing so? And many scientists believe actually we are. And the reason is because a number of known species have been lost since the humans have come onto the Earth or humans have evolved. Since these mass extinction events can take millions of years, perhaps we are witnessing the sixth major mass extinction event as it happens without realizing it. Whether or not humans will survive in this extinction event has yet to be determined. So that is all for this particular video. I hope you understood one of the major events that has happened in the geological history of Earth, that is the mass extinctions. Thank you very much.